Greater China Photographic Society present Capture the World. This time, we have the pleasure to invite Mr. Carsten Schael, President of the Hong Kong Institute of Professional Photographers Association. You are welcome. As far as I know, you are a commercial photographer. And as a photographer, I suppose you're also very much artistic and you have your own mission. How your mission can coordinate with the mission of the CARLTEN?
Well, yeah, I mean, I started photography as a young boy, and so it was a passion before it became a profession. And nowadays, when I work for clients, of course, I'll take part of this passion into my profession as well. That's what gets me out of bed in the morning, and that's what gets me to try always harder to do some interesting work for my clients as well. So, of course, it's always a bit of a compromise between what the client wants and what I want. But quite often also with the body of work and with my track record, I can convince a client that my approach to a particular project would also benefit them.
This time, you introduce us your food photographs.
Yes.
And when we're talking about food, we need to talk about the chef also.
I have a very broad range of clients, and I was always seeking diversity in photography. And what particularly interested me in food photography is that food is a very diverse subject as well. Because in terms of texture, in terms of flavors, in terms of the materials that chefs nowadays use, which come really from all over the world, the vegetables, the meats, the
one element, the smell.
Of course, which unfortunately we can't capture in photography. But no, I find food is an extremely interesting subject. And nowadays, I mean, the really good chefs in the world, they're very, very creative people.
Just like this gentleman, huh?
Yeah, I mean, this gentleman, a very famous Hong Kong chef.
His name?
His name is Alvin Leung. And he's very creative with the kind of materials that he's using for his dishes. I mean, he's making very unusual combinations of ingredients that maybe not everybody would consider fitting together, but the way he does it and the way he combines them.
The photo next to his portrait,
yes,
of course, is masterpiece.
Well,
this is a drink or
no,
a dish?
Well, this is a bit of a mix. I mean, he's using a sherbet, so ice cream, with a duck sausage, which is a very unusual combination, but very interesting in the texture and flavor. Mm-hmm. And so that's kind of what he's really well known for, really making this very unusual combination.
And the light coming from outside?
Yes, there's a bit of a daylight feel there, but I also enhanced it with some artificial, some flashlight. And again, this is a good example of the dishes that don't last very long, because of course the ice cream will start to melt the moment you...
Yeah, one of the constraints of taking food photographs, huh?
Yes, in general, you have to be
time
very quick.
Is in essence.
Absolutely. There's sometimes you have dishes that disintegrate within a few minutes. I mean, they're meant for immediate consumption. I mean, when they present it to the patron of the restaurant, I mean, then they expected to eat them right away. The next one is for Hong Kong Hotel, is for the Landmark Mandarin. The chef is Richard Eckerbus, also a very well-known and accomplished European chef that has been based in Hong Kong for a while. And so his cuisine is also, I mean, the way he presents things and the way he combines things is quite unusual. He calls it a Japanese-inspired oyster shooter. So the way he presents it is a bit like Japanese sushi, maybe, and so the oyster in I think it's a mix of I think alcohol, some seaweed, some tea. It's a very intricate kind of combination of different flavors combined. So, and that's what I find so amazing when chefs nowadays, I mean, they take from a huge variety of different ingredients and they combine them in very interesting and unique ways, and thereby kind of give our palate some very, very unique and interesting experiences.
Where this picture is taken?
So this was on assignment for a German magazine in Shanghai, and this is a feature of a French chef who's working at the was working at the Pudong Shangri-La.
How about the background?
That's the basically the wine. Well, you can't call it the wine. Yeah, it's not a wine cellar because it's on a very high level, a very high level in Pudong, in a high-rise building. But they have this beautiful, kind of fridge or wine cooler where they keep all the very expensive wines, and he's just leaning there. He was quite a relaxed guy. At least I could get him to relax. I mean, he was working hard on getting the dishes prepared for the photo shoot, but then also we just kind of move away from the work and just got him to relax a little for the portrait.
So the photo next to him is his masterpiece.
Well,
I can show from it. It looks like as if an egg.
Yes.
But maybe something different.
Yeah, what he has done in this case, I mean, the visual appearance is a bit, he wanted a bit like a bacon and egg kind of, I mean, a fried egg with some bits of bacon, but the bacon is actually, it's goose liver, and the egg is made from orange juice. So it's also a very interesting combination, and so with some beans and a bit of wasabi, and very, very interesting.
Quite extraordinary combination.
Yes. It was very, very, very interesting to taste as well. Different mix of textures and flavors. These are all very accomplished chefs, and they always have ways of combining food in a very unique.
What exactly is an accomplished chef?
An accomplished chef is somebody that has really made their name in the industry. So they're recognized for being somebody of outstanding talent and accomplishment. David Laris, who's also a very accomplished chef and restaurant consultant.
What is the meaning of an accomplished chef?
Accomplished chefs are
already famous.
Yes, they're well recognized within the industry for work they have done in the past, for their successes in running restaurants and creating unusual cuisines or unusual dishes.
What exactly is his dish?
Well, this is a dessert made from pandan leaves, panna cotta, fresh mango. Again, it's like a whole combination, a caramelized apple, and there's some goat cheese ice cream, and mix of flavors, hot and cold, the ice cream and the warm apple with the crispness. So very, very interesting.
This is a Chinese gentleman.
Yes, this is a very, very famous Chinese chef, Jirim Leung. What he's doing is, with Chinese cuisine has a lot of tradition attached to it, and so what he's doing is actually merging kind of some new techniques with traditional food, and coming up with some very interesting and very delicious tasting dishes.
So what's the name of this dish?
So this is a dish that is made from dates.
Dates, yes.
Dates filled with glutinous rice, and some apple is in there, cinnamon apple, and some goose liver. So again, a very interesting combination of hearty food.
Yeah, not like exactly a dessert, huh?
No, but it's an unusual spin, but using that, and the presentation is also very interesting. So then we move to Hong Kong. So this was shot at the Four Seasons. The head chef Vincent Thierry, and this is a more traditional dish, but then again presented in a more contemporary fashion.
This is an Wagyu beef, huh?
Yes.
With soy sauce?
No, these are wild mushrooms and some mashed potatoes on the side and some. The way they've presented it is just basically putting the Wagyu beef on a bed of wild mushrooms with some sauce.
So this is Peking duck.
Yeah, this is a very famous chain of Peking duck restaurants in Beijing. I did a story there just before the Olympic Games, looking at Beijing cuisine. And this restaurant is famous because they use the traditional Peking duck, and they made it by breeding the ducks themselves. They make the Peking duck more or less fatty and more flavor, and so they have their own chain of restaurants that is specializing on less fatty ducks, and really delicious.
When they have a photographer in mind, I suppose they know your style already.
Yes, of course. I mean, I'm well established in Hong Kong. Many clients or new clients come on recommendation from other happy clients, happy customers, and so they already know my reputation. They know the style of work that I do.
The then girlfriend of you lives in Hong Kong. Maybe that is one of the reasons attract you to Hong Kong.
Yes, my wife grew up in Hong Kong. She's originally from Germany, like myself, but she came to Hong Kong as a little girl. She grew up here, she went to school here. Then she came to Germany to study, and that's how we met in Germany. And then she introduced me to Hong Kong, and I not only fell in love with the girl, but also with the city, Hong Kong.
Do you find this place is more English rather than European?
No, actually I expected Hong Kong to be more English as a British colony.
Yes.
No, I don't think it is particularly British. It definitely has some European flavor,
yes,
some British flavor, but overall I still find Asian culture is really dominating, and I mean it's visible in everyday life. I mean the way people live and work, and I think that is very much Asian. And staying on the theme of simple cuisine, I mean I did a whole story on Dai Pai Dong in Hong Kong.
I can see this is Ao Lam Fan.
And yeah, very simple, basic food, but very fresh. And unfortunately, Dai Pai Dongs are disappearing in Hong Kong. The original ones, less and less. They used to be on every street corner.
It's getting less and less.
Yes, but it's also it's a very interesting cuisine and very delicious, very tasty, very fresh, prepared just minutes before you consume it. And so I've went around trying to find one of the remnants of these Dai Pai Dongs around Hong Kong. And this chef, Mr. Sum, is working in the kitchen in Central, just preparing some fresh choy sum with oyster sauce. And they also have this restaurant.
This is Liang Yu Kao.
It's very well known for their fishball with the clam sauce, which was also really delicious.
Yeah, fishball. Yes.
Yeah, this dish also only lasts for a few minutes, so very crispy for a few minutes. So you need to eat it when it's hot right away, and then it tastes great.
How Hong Kong attracts you?
Well, I mean, Hong Kong is a very interesting place. Hong Kong has taller mountains, so I've always been attracted to mountains, so I really like that. Hong Kong in particular fascinated me because the way the Eastern and the Western culture kind of come together and create something.
And sometimes compromise.
Yes, but they create
not only
something.
Contradiction, huh?
No, I think they create a very unique mix of East and West. and then of course the real city life in contrast to the real serene nature that Hong Kong presents as well. This is also a very, very well-known Hong Kong chef, Chan Chung Fai. He's called the Prince of Abalone. So of course I had to photograph his abalone dish, which again is very simple, very high quality, and the presentation very, very simple, straight to the basics. So we have a delicious dish that just consists of fresh ingredients and tastes great.
Abalone is an expensive dish.
Yes, it is, and but it's very, very tasty if it's well prepared. And the unusual thing is this restaurant is also Muay Thai Padang style. It's in a wet market, so you just sit on some folding chair with lots of hustle and bustle around you, which is great. I mean, I love these places which are very local.
In this picture, flavor. You purposely also taken the fire, huh?
Yeah, and this is part of a series I did for a club magazine, for the Foreign Correspondence Club, and this is just fresh clams, and I just wanted to see how they prepared in the kitchen. So really, when they get into the hot broth and they just the fire underneath, and you really get a feel for the texture of the clams, the shapes, and
but
then also
why there is no steam coming up?
Oh, it's just a little bit. It's just they're almost done now. They've already changed color, so the cooking process is almost complete. So they're about to being served. Yeah, then this is for a local hotel, the Upper House, for their bar. There we shot a whole range of cocktails for their menu and for their website, and I really like this dish because there's very little depth of field. It's just a bit of focus on it, and the rest is just more an abstract kind of. That's kind of where commerce and art kind of meet.
Yeah.
So because
it looks like a wave, huh?
Yes. So
coming from the bottom.
So it's just kind of the lemon peel, the lemon zest that is in the glass, and just very simple. It's just the shape, the color, and the lighting that creates a very kind of interesting atmosphere, I think. So, and
what is the next one?
The next one is a very interesting dish. Some vegetables, some meat, just presented in basically bite size. So
on a spoon. Huh?
Yes, they present again. This is for the restaurant in the Upper House for Cafe Grey, and what they're doing there is they just present you very interesting bite-size kind of meal. So each spoon gives you the full flavor of the dish, which is also an interesting concept of presenting the food and allowing you to consume the food spoon by spoon. So then Beijing, staying up in Beijing, the number of little restaurants and hotels. This dish was shot at the Red Capital Club, which has a menu which supposedly consists of all the favorite dishes of Mao Zedong. So this is supposed to be one of his favorite dishes, is fanned out asparagus with some...
Just like a friend.
Yes. And very...
How about the next one? Next one is Bing Tong Wu Lou. This is dessert for the children.
Yeah, this is very, very traditional dessert, candied sweets, candied fruits, and this is on a cold winter day in Beijing. When I was up there, there was a street vendor that just offered them. They were great. I mean, I love them, all kinds of different combinations of fruit with candied with sugar. So that was really nice and very visually very, very colorful. Who has also a very creative approach to his food. He presents his food in unusual ways, and he has his.
How unusual?
Well, this dessert is it's very unusual because you get a square plate and you just have a slice of lemon there and a bit of a very fine tasting jelly with some...
It looks like another dessert for the Chinese, 芝麻糊.
All right.
Sesame.
Yes, and it's just a bit of croquant kind of strewn around, and with lemon sherbet, a bit of the crispy lime underneath, so and a spray of gin on the side, so kind of some alcohol, some sweetness.
So what exactly is this?
Oh, this is gin. There's gin in a spray bottle.
Oh.
So that goes with the dish. Also, I found very, very interesting. This is in one of the hutongs. It's a little restaurant called The Source. This is the proprietor of the restaurant. She's also a gallery owner in Beijing. So she has a nice gallery, and Madame Bing Bing, she's very emphasizing the kind of homegrown kind of cooking, and the whole restaurant has a very kind of homey feel to itself, and they have some really nice simple
we can see the
dishes.
noodle here, huh?
Yes,
it's quite ordinary.
Yes, but it's very tasty. So this is soft bean curd with some meat noodle, and very delicious. And the magazine loved the shot so much they put it on the cover of the magazine. So this is a creation by chef.
So what is this made of?
So the part, this is also one of the dishes that only stays like this for just a couple of minutes. This is done by the internationally renowned chef Greg Kuntz, who also has a restaurant in New York City, and also created the menu for this restaurant here in Hong Kong. And this very thin, it's just pig skin, and it's crispy skin, and it just stays like this for just a few minutes, and then you have some mixed beef and some carpaccio as the base for the dish. It's really beautiful. It looks like a crown, and a bit of salad on the top. And again, I mean, the presentation I think is very creative, and the food tastes great because the ingredients are absolute the best you can serve, and yeah, it's just a wonderful creation. So this is another example for the creativity that chefs nowadays display in the way they present their dishes as well. It's not just about the taste, but also basically the eye is also consuming the dish, and that's, from a photographer's point of view, makes it so interesting to photograph food like this.
Wonderful. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And after each episode, usually our interviewee will present to our watcher a gift.
Right.
If they answer a question from you correctly.
Okay. All right. So, well, you've seen a selection of my food photography, and I'm sure you got a pretty good idea of the kind of style of work that I do. So I would like you to tell me which is my favorite f-stop that I use for most of my food photography work.